or gave himself this wonderful title, the most negative person in the world. That's quite a big title to give yourself. But he came to the centre and Daddy could see his potential. Daddy could see the quality of the soul. And that's where Daddy fixed her vision, you know, the loving intellect. And he would come to the centre in a good mood, a bad mood, oh, I don't like this, and, you know, up, down, here, there. But she maintained her vision of love and respect and could see beyond the present state of the soul. And he often said it was her vision that changed him. And now he's one of the most inspirational brothers you'd ever meet anywhere. And I often feel that's our service, that, you know, to have such elevated vision of each other. Because to me, this power of love gives us the power to renounce, which is like this morning's Molly. You know, this morning's Molly, Baba was saying, renunciation creates fortune. Many of us become Brahmins. We love Baba. We have faith in Baba. But the ones who take the full inheritance and the ones who I would say become powerful are the ones who have this deep renunciation based on love and understanding. And I think I love this subject that Baba was talking about this morning, because I can remember when second time I went to Madhavan, Daddy Janki, because I was in London. Hansavin, it doesn't work very well. I'm sorry, it's...
Okay.
Excuse me, my throat is... When I actually, the first time I went to Madhavan, and second time, Daddy said to me as I was leaving for Madhavan, she said, well, you have become more loving, but now become powerful. And I think, you know, often we come to Baba and Baba opens our heart and we become sweeter and more loving, but still things affect us a lot. I am Baba's child, I love Baba, I have faith in Baba, but still the world really disturbs me sometimes. Personalities upset me. And I still, you know, fluctuate a lot. And I often used to think that, you know, to get my power back, what do I do? To get such strength, I feel Baba is coming to make us so strong that nothing can shake me from my throne of self-respect. Nothing. And it was in the early 1980s that Baba spoke, and as far as I'm aware, the only series of Avyak Bapdada, he spoke the renunciation mollies. I don't know whether you've met them. You've met them, you've read them. Maybe you've met them. It's been a long tour, so please excuse me.
Well, that's good actually. That's good. We have to think of we met Baba.
Yeah.
So we are giving this good
We met the Moolies.
Yeah.
They are incredible, because to me, when I read them, I really deeply understood what this path is. What is Raj Yoga? Because Baba, in these Moolies, it's the secret to spiritual power. Because there's this little 3 steps, Baba says, renunciation, you know, tyag, tapasya, which is a quality of yoga that cleans the soul, purifies the soul. And then there's automatic service. In other words, you don't even have to say anything. Your face and your sanskaras, your vibrations serve, which is really the service Baba wants these days. But it begins with renunciation. And there's 2 things really. I would say there's surrender and renunciation. Surrender is of all the things of value I bring to Baba. All of us have come to Baba. We have skills, talents, experience, wealth, a whole lot of things. And they're the things I surrender, all the things of value. Renunciation is of the rubbish I bring, the negativity, the impurity, the body consciousness. And actually we need both. We need both. Interestingly, sometimes some of Baba's children come and we recognize this is God. I've come home to where I belong. And instant surrender. And I give my time to Baba, I give my energy to Baba, I give my wealth to Baba, because I found my truth and we give everything. And then I begin the process of renunciation of my body consciousness, my ego, all these sort of things. But that's not as easy, actually. Renunciation is a bit of a tougher road. You can surrender like that. And if there's not success in renunciation over some years, then sometimes the soul starts to think, oh, I want to take back the things I surrendered, you know. Because the formula Baba gives us is renunciation plus surrender. We become a trustee. And this is Baba's method for spiritual progress. I use everything. I use everything I brought to Baba, but with no attachment to it. What did Baba say this morning? The I and my. So I surrender to Baba. I surrender my time, money, energy, but I have no attachment to it. And this is really the sign of a yogi soul. Because I sometimes think we bring 6 things to Baba. We all have 6 things: thoughts, words, actions, time, money, energy. Surrender is when I use those 6 resources according to Baba's instructions. Not according to my old thinking, how I want to use them. I create my fortune when I use them in the way that Baba has suggested to use them. And once, you know, I think we have, there's surrender and renunciation. And renunciation is really, you know, letting go the consciousness of mine and never taking it back again. That's how Baba defined it. And this really, every step of renunciation builds power back into the soul. And it's renunciation that creates fortune. And I would say, you know, when we come, you know, late to Baba, and we suddenly realize this is God who's come at the end of the cycle, how to create my fortune. I would say renunciation is probably the most powerful step to do that. And I remember thinking that at the beginning of the cycle, you know, the soul is in its full bloom of purity and self-respect. And then as we lose power, what happens is that, you know, as we lose my power, my self-respect, we start to build this network, if I can use it, of I and my, you know, to give me a sense of security. It's like, and I often think of it as a spider web, you know, the soul. Up and at the copper age, I begin this thing, I am this, I've done this, I did this, this is mine. And you think, this network, why do we do it? It does give me something. It gives me limited temporary security. But on the other side, it's the very thing that makes the soul heavy, sometimes burdened, unhappy and depressed. Because on the one hand, it gives me temporary security, but I've lost all my independence and freedom, you know. And so on the one hand, it helps, on the other hand, the soul's always struggling to free itself from all these things. And once I was thinking, it's like we come to the end of the cycle, and we have all these layers of I and my etched into the subconscious of the soul in my sanskars. You know, my possessions, my relations, my responsibility, my role, my opinions, they're pretty strong, my ideas, you know, how many, they're layered, and then Baba says, children, you've created it, you know, you hold on to it, and now you have to dismantle, you have to renounce this entire I and my structure you've created in the second half of the cycle. Is it easy? You know how we do it? When your relationship with Baba is so strong, when you feel so much loved and so secure, you will automatically let go. And I'm a great believer that you can't conquer attachment or dependence. I don't think you can. You can only replace it. You can only replace it. And when you replace it with a real relationship, it's not just enough to have faith and belief in Baba, a living relationship with Baba, then the heart starts to let go all these dependent things which, I've created throughout the cycle. Because in these renunciation maulis, Baba, he said the first step, and he goes very methodically, is the renunciation of this. And I would say we're Baba's children. How far have I really renounced body consciousness? How far? If I ask my heart 100% honestly, I don't think we've gone as far as we would like. Sometimes we keep a foot in both boats, I love Baba, but I just keep a few of my dependent things over here. A bet each way, when you have a bet each way, so to speak. And yet, I think Baba was saying that when a true sannyasi leaves his home, he never goes back again. And Baba said, when I leave this old home, this body, I will never be attracted again, even in thought. And what is the attitude of renunciation? That literally, this I keep in trust to Baba. It's like I'm a guest in this body, almost how Bap Daddy uses Daddy Gulzar's body. That's how the level that Baba wants us to reach. And it's like, why? Because we reclaim our authority once again. We break body consciousness and we become a soul. We turn from a slave back into a master. Because Baba was saying that a master, a slave always has some sorrow on their face. There's always some sorrow on their face. And a slave, one day something upsets them and that's okay, and then the next day something else upsets them. Baba was saying this is a sign of a slave. The mind is constantly sort of upset, get better, upset, gets better, upset, constantly. The sign of a master is cheerfulness. The sign of a master. In all the dramas of life, all the circumstances, all the personalities, all the situations, the master is cheerful. That's the sign that we've really conquered. And I really feel, excuse me, I really feel for Baba's children. How far have I really explored the first lesson of this journey? How far have I become soul conscious? Because that's the fundamental bedrock of this journey. We were soul conscious in the Golden Age. How much? We know it, we believe it, we teach it. And I was sharing in Anabuti in the mid-1980s, Baba told all the double foreigners to do the course again. And you know what he said? He said, you know the knowledge, you believe the knowledge, you teach the knowledge, but you don't experience the knowledge. Mm-hmm. And I think we have to educate ourselves. Sometimes I think in this world we're very good at logical thinking. We've learned how to do logical thinking, like that's what science teaches us. We're very good at creative thinking. Take an idea, let it grow. Experiential thinking, where I take who am I am a soul, and I massage it into my feelings so I feel peace, so that I convert the theory into experience. And this is what sustains me on this journey. And really, that first step, Baba said in this renunciation maulis, the first step is total renunciation of the consciousness of the body. And I will be constantly peaceful and constantly stable. How far have I really done the work? Because that's what this life is about. And the second step was renunciation of the sense organs, because this is what Baba was talking about in this morning's mauli. And I loved what Baba said. Baba said, a mouse comes and a cat chases it away. The cat comes, the dog chases it away. The dog comes and the lion chases it away. Do you remember that? He said in renunciation maulis. And what Baba said, the mouse is the eyes, The mind is deceived by the eyes. And then the cat is the ears. and then, the dog is the sanskaras,